and I feel like I'm talking about bad shit all the time. So just want to share something fun with you. Down below, you have the correct spelling of my name, my IG information. You also have my Cash App if you'd like to bless a sister. Bless a sister. It'd be greatly appreciated. And then also hit the subscribe button, because I want you to be here whenever information drops. I want you to be the first one to know. And please like and share any videos that just inspire some critical thinking. Make you think, make you laugh, something you want to share, something that might spark conversation between you and, family member or friend. Please like and share those videos. Okay, so I'm going to share another Hollywood story with you just because I was thinking of this. I saw, and I can't remember who she was speaking to, but Megan Good was speaking, doing an interview with somebody. And the question was asked, has she ever been broke? And she said, oh, hell yeah. She was like, actually, being broke is a good thing because it really grounds you, and it makes you really think about, and, the times that you have a lot to be grateful for, and then other times when, you're struggling and just trying to survive. And so she had brought up the fact that, like, she said she remembered one situation where she was at a club and she really wanted to go to this nightclub. And, because she wasn't in anything that was current, and, I guess people really didn't know her face at that time, maybe. But that's how Hollywood is. Hollywood's fickle, right? If you're not hot and popping at the time, they don't care about you. If you are, oh my God, they can't get out of your face. Okay. So especially at that time, when Megan Good was like, really big. So she goes to this club. They won't, just let her skip the line. They won't let her in, whatever. So she said she stood in this line for 45 minutes. That was in her broke moment. And then she said, further on down the road, this movie she was in, it came out, her name was the talk of the town. And, she's like, okay, so she skipped the line, she got bottle service, she got, VIP, she got all the things. That's how Hollywood is. It's just fickle. It depends on, or how it was. It's completely different now, y'all. Oh my God, it's completely different. That's a whole other episode I have to tell you about. It's really sad, actually. But so back to Megan Good. And so she was just talking about the difference, right? So now here's my story. Okay. So one time I was here pitching scripts. So I started coming to Hollywood, LA, pitching scripts. I just wanted to create a show. I wanted to produce a show. I wanted to be the creator and producer of a show. So I was writing, I had my scripts, I go back and forth. I was in real estate in Houston. I was teaching as well. I had like several jobs. So I could go back and forth to LA and do my thing. So I was out here, and it just so happened to be, it was in October. I don't remember the year, but I remember this because the person who invited, well, she didn't really invite me. Another one of our mutual friends was in town. She invited me to this chick's birthday party. Okay. And her birthday's Halloween. So that's how I know it was in October. She had a party, her birthday party, not going to mention her name, with Essence Atkins, the actress Essence Atkins, Gabrielle Union, and no, that's it. It was just the three of them. It was the three of them. Okay. So it was their birthday party. They had rented out like a sound stage on a lot. That's where the party was. All right. So my friend, the mutual friend that invited me, I was running late. And so she and one of the birthday girls had already gone into the party when I arrived. Now, when I arrived, there was mad traffic. It was crazy. So I had a hard time trying to find somewhere to park. And if you know anything about LA, there's no freaking parking, and it's only free after 6 or something. It's a whole thing, y'all. You either pay an arm and a leg for the parking, or you got to walk 2 blocks because, to get the free parking. So I found some parking. I get up to the gate where people are waiting to get in. There's security. And I'm believe the fire department was even there. I believe there was at least a couple of firemen then saying that they had reached capacity. They couldn't let anybody else in because it went against the fire marshal rules, etc. It was either them or security saying that, but I'm pretty sure that I saw somebody dressed like a fireman. But also, it was Halloween time. And if you don't know this about LA, because actors so used to dressing up and all that kind of stuff, Halloween starts like mid October here. Like people are dressing up. You can see people dressed up walking the streets at any time during October. Let's just say anytime. So I'm there. I'm waiting, right? And then they're telling us, oh, it's reached capacity. We can't let anybody else in until people come out. And so I look to my left, y'all, and Megan Good is standing to my left, right? And she has on a Playboy bunny costume. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now I was just dressed normal. I had, clothes on, had my fedora on, had a cute little tie. I was looking cute. I was doing my thing, okay? And so yeah, so Megan was standing next to me and she was trying to explain why she should be let in, who she was with, and all that kind of stuff. And the security and the cops, they weren't having it. They didn't care that she was Megan Good. They didn't care. So that's how I know what she was telling this person was very true. I saw it in real time. Okay. She was standing to my left. Now to my right, there was a gap between this pole and the fencing that was keeping us at bay. The rest of us who were trying to get in there was a little gap right there, right? And so while these guys were paying attention to Megan Good and her trying to explain why she can get in, why she should be able to get in, I squeezed around this little opening because I was super thin then. So I could squeeze around this little opening. And I squeezed right around that little opening, went around the security. And as I do that, Mekhi Phifer and his group are walking in. And so I just joined in with Mekhi Phifer's group. There were, men and women. So I just blended in with them, just started walking with them like, yeah, I'm with Mekhi. Hey. So I get in. When we get away from security, then I start to branch off from them, right? Because I'm not really with them. Now, I forgot to tell you this. So when I was trying to look for a parking spot, there was an SUV that had pulled up next to me, right? And I was like, I rolled down my window because I was trying to hear what they were saying about parking because I wanted to go where they were going, right? Roll down the window, and the driver is telling security, I have, what's her name? America's Next Top Model. Oh my God, why is this happening right now? Hold on. Tyra Banks, shit. I don't know why the hell that just happened. So Tyra Banks is in this SUV with her people, right? And I'm like, ooh, Tyra Banks, right? So, because I loved, America's Next Top Model. At this time, it was hot. It was hot on a show. I had me a little tank top, America's Next Top Model, y'all. You couldn't tell me nothing. Couldn't tell me nothing. So, anyways, I get in. I split off from Mekhi Phifer's group. I'm going a little further. Sally is his last name. Used to play basketball, used to play for the Lakers. He's here, he's telling some stories. People are laughing at him. Go a little further. Tyra Banks and her crew, they're cutting through. I don't know what door they came through, but they're going upstairs to this upstairs area. I'm going because I'm calling my friend, right? I'm on the phone with my friend. I'm like, where y'all at? I'm in. She's like, you got in? I was like, yeah, I got in. And then for a moment, I was like, well, bitch, you didn't want me to get in? But I got in, right? So she was like, okay, we over here to the left. Because what they did with the areas for each of the birthday girls, they had sofas that were roped off. So each one had their own area. And then like the party was in the middle, like the dance floor was in the middle. There were stripper poles around. There was a lot of stuff going on. So I go in, right? And so I go over to my friend, this chick's VIP area where, the birthday girl that is from Houston. You know what? I have actually been to the Dominican Republic with this person, but let me tell you, prior to us taking that trip, I could have sworn that this heifer hated me, really, because she was shady to me all the fucking time. But anyways, so I at that in that moment, she was shady to me that night. She was shady to me when we were in New Orleans. She was shady to me one time I came to LA. Um, Maybe I'll share those stories with y'all later. But when we went to Dominican Republic, because of this mutual friend together, it got a little bit better. And I understood a little bit now that I have some of her backstory, I understood a little bit more as to why she was always acting weird with me. But anywho, let me get back to this story. I digress. Okay, so I go over to them. So this chick is acting kind of funny. And, so I'm like, I'm not even going to stay in her area. Let me move around the party. Let me see who's in here. And I will tell you this, at the time, there was this other show that I really liked. It was called Silver Lake. It was on, it was popular. That cast was in there. They were there. I met them. Then there was one of the Rockets. He played for the Rockets at the time. Actually, he might have been going through his trade. So he got traded to the Clippers, but I knew him when he played for the Rockets. Okay. Didn't date him. Honestly, I believe that he kind of used me as his beard, if I had to be honest with you. So when we were out in public, like, he would I don't know, pretend or act like he was into me, but dude never called me. He never asked me out on a date. He had a party that I found out about through another friend that I was not invited to, a party at his home. But when we were out, oh my God, you'd swear I was his damn wife. I kid you not. It was some crazy shit. So, anyways, I run into him as I'm walking around the party. And I'm like, hey, what's up with her? He's like, what you doing in LA? Blah, blah, blah. And so I'm telling him, and y'all, so in front of him is, should I say her name? Should I say her name? Should I say her name? Okay. In front of him is Nia Long. And it would appear that they were together. Like she was standing right in front of him, right? Or no, no, no. She was sitting on like the back of a sofa or a chair. But she was sitting in front of him. He was sitting there. He was standing there. And so I come up and so he's hugging me like, hey, what are you doing here? What's going on? Da, da, da. And she turns around and looks at me. And then she turns back around. When she turns around and looks at me, I'm like, oh, hey, and I don't even get my name out before she turns back around. I was like, oh, okay. And so I just start talking to him again, right? And so we're talking. And then, so I guess she had had enough of us talking. And she turns back around and she's like, I don't know why I'm protecting him. She's like, Catino, look at such a. And so she tries to get his attention. This is Catino Mobley, by the way. And so she tries to get his attention. And then so he's like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. And I was like, you know what? Let me move on. Let me move on. Because girl, I could have helped you out. I could have told you some things. But no, since you acting all shady, I'm not gonna tell you shit. You just find that shit out on your own. So I moved around the party. And then I run into okay, so I see Essence Atkins. She's dancing, I, join in over there with her group because her group was friendly. They were friendly. They were like, hey, girl, come. So I'm dancing with them. And then at another point in time, I go into Gabrielle Union's area, and Gabrielle Union has the stripper pole in her area. And then, oh my God. Okay, so in her area was Derek Jeter. Oh my God. And at that time, I loved me some Derek Jeter. Okay. So Derek Jeter and some of his teammates were sitting in her area. So look, girl, I go and I go and sit down, in front of Derek Jeter and, just like, just smiling, doing my little flirtatious thing. And then, Gabrielle Union comes over and she gets on the pole and she starts swinging the pole. And when I tell y'all her little mini dress was a tiny, tiny, tiny mini dress, and she might have had some little booty shorts under there or something, but it was tiny, mini dress. So she started swinging on the pole, in front of them. And I was like, let me move around. So I move around again. And then I run into Brian White. Now, if you don't know this, Brian White was on a show called Second Time Around with Boris Koja. I literally had a script, a spec script that I had written for Second Time Around. So I run into him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm here pitching a script for your show. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. So we start talking or whatever. We end up dancing. Uh, he said that he and Boris had a dance, either a dance studio or they had a dance troupe where they work with kids and dancing or whatever. But I was so thrown off by the way this dude was dancing, y'all. Oh my God. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Like he was on beat, but it was just some wild, different stuff. And I was like, where is this dude from? Like, where did this dancing come from? But, anyways, so we danced for a while. We talked for a while. We danced for a while. Then before I knew it, it was like, oh my God, it was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning, and I had like a 7 o'clock flight. So, he was trying to do what he was trying to do. And I was like, no, dude, I got to get back to the hotel, gather my things, and head straight to the airport. And that's exactly what I did. But yeah, that night it was very interesting because there were so many people in that party. John Sally, that was his name. John Sally, the first basketball player that was, out in this kind of atrium area. He was telling stories that people were listening to and laughing. I have so many more stories like this, but yeah, I met a lot of cool people that night. It was a great night. Um, and then I got on the plane at 7 a.m. Matter of fact, I went to the hotel, packed my stuff, and I went straight to the airport because I knew if I fell asleep at the hotel, I probably would have missed my flight. So I went straight to the airport and I fell asleep in the airport just waiting for my flight. I did that a couple of times, y'all. It was so dangerous because I would wake up and then there were, I'd go to sleep and there was nobody there in the area, and I'd wake up and there were people all around me, and it freaked me out. I did that in Atlanta, Miami, and then also LA, just because I was so dead tired and I couldn't stay awake. So that's my story, all factual information. I don't think I left anything out. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting folks at that party. Had a great time. The last thing I want to say, just because this information today came out about the Tate brothers and how they don't own shit, it's the same thing in LA. I see, there are people, this last thing I'm gonna tell y'all, there are people spending $20,000 on their dorm rooms. I've seen little back to school kids in the third or fourth grade with these wigs and their hair done, like $300 of hair on their heads, and they having their nails done. All this craziness for third graders. And I'm like, what the hell? I got a little cousin who went to school and asked her teacher, when I say little cousin, I'm talking kindergarten, asked her teacher, does she have any Louis Vuitton? Like, come on, y'all stop all this shit. I know you see a lot of shit in videos and on television and all that kind of crap. Let me tell you something. People, actors in Hollywood, entertainers in Hollywood, they aren't paying for that shit. They are not paying for that shit. You work on a show, sometimes you get to keep some of the clothing from the show. Then, if you don't get to keep some of the clothing, a lot of that wardrobe is sent off to some of these boutiques that are around town where we can buy it at a fraction of the price. Or you're gifted things when you go into, like when you go to these events, they have these areas where you're gifted a lot of stuff. People lease their cars, they aren't buying them. It's it's an entire facade. It's all fake. It's all fake. So stop stressing yourselves out. I got to drive this car. I got to wear this. I got to buy this. I got to have this handbag. This. It's all fake. Stop trying to live up to some Hollywood standard that does not exist. It doesn't. Because, like Megan Good said, a lot of these actors are broke. They have up times and they have down times. Those down times can be really, really bad. You can be really, really broke. And you get that one job, that one movie, that one show, that one role, and it'll pay you for a while until the next gig comes along. But trust me, unless you've been in the game like 20, 30 years and you've been stacking your paper, a lot of actors are not doing well. And I'm gonna hold what Hollywood looks like today. I'm gonna hold that for a whole other video because this one's gone on too long. I just want to tell y'all about this party. Um, but yeah, it is not what it looks like. And if you're in middle America thinking it's just so fabulous, and there are some fabulous things, don't get me wrong, there's some fabulous areas, some fabulous homes, some fabulous, but a lot of things, if you gain notoriety and if your name is you're the talk of the town at the moment, or your show is on a billboard, people cater to you, so you're not coming out of pocket with shit. Okay, dinner, movie, car, house. Sometimes managers and agents will uh, lease you out a property that they own, whatever, the studio. So, and it's not even like that anymore. It's not. But like I said, I'll hold that for our next video. Okay, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Ciao.